Welcome back, everybody, to Brown Bag Bets, powered by BetSperts. We are your daily dose of quick hit handicapping and sports betting picks. I'm Alex Christensen, and joining me, as always, Mr. Andy Molitor. And let's just pull the Band-Aid off. What are you going to do tonight?
So this is kind of nice. It doesn't go deep into the night, but golf doesn't start until like 1:30 because right now it's like 5:30 a.m. in Hawaii. So golf doesn't start until well into the afternoon. So golf, I guess I'm going to watch, and then probably some basketball, college or professional. I do believe my the team of destiny plays tonight. The under 20 Canadian men's hockey team take on the Czechs for all the marbles tonight, and I do have a future on them. So it's an exciting win. They went down 2-0, the most dangerous score in all of hockey. They went down 2-0. You know what that final score was, Alex? I'm gonna let
3
you
to
guess.
2.
6-2. Just truck fucked them. Just took them to town after that. There were some disallowed goals. I don't understand how that works in hockey because I don't know all the rules, but I know it drives me up a wall in soccer. So that had to be frustrating for the Americans. But the Canadians move on. The Clear Silk Cup, as we're calling it, the under 20s. There's this child prodigy hockey player named something Bedard. Very
Probably
good.
Connor.
Very good. I watched a little of him. I think he's going to make it, guys. I like what he's doing with the puck. I like what he's doing for his team, and yeah, I think that's the plan. It looks like it's on at 5:30. God, why 5? There is nothing to do tonight. I'm gonna have to hang out with my family.
You have
The
to
Lego
spend time
set I
with your
gotta
family.
finish. Yeah, there's a Lego. I might play Settlers of Catan. I'm thinking about
Love
doing that
Settlers.
competitively. I like playing with the family because my 8-year-old isn't great at it. He just wants to build the longest road no matter what. He had a road of 11 road lengths long. Like it's just
You only get
superfluous at
like
that point.
12 or something. Did he run out?
Yeah, he just kept building roads. I don't know. I just kind of let him go with it. Explore your world, man. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Here we're talking about some gambling. Good night last night in the college hoops for Andy. I had a 2-0 night, which is awful nice. Those are better than the alternative, I guess. And I think one of my underdogs even won outright, which is always nice to see because I hate sweating that when I think they're both like +5, +6. It's kind of in that dead zone of like, hey, we're down by 4. Like, I can't even be mad at you if you foul, like down 4 with like 15, 30 seconds left. Like, you can't be mad at the kids for fouling there. You still have a chip chair and a chance. So, kind of in the scary zone. And I'm going to enter that same scary zone tonight, but I'm doing it with some Lumberjacks. The Northern Arizona Lumberjacks will play host to the Grizz of Montana in a Big Sky Conference tilt. Montana's a goofy team, decent offense, horrible defense, really slow tempo, and another team, and I can't remember which of them that I picked on yesterday. Just I struggle with these favorites who cannot rebound on the offensive side. They cannot get extra possessions. They do not force turnovers. They do not offensive rebound the ball very well. When you don't get extra possessions, it's hard to cover on the road, guys. So I'm down. Like my number on Montana is lower than the markets, even against an absolute shitty team like the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks, who they did get one road win, and I guess they won against Benedictine Mesa, which doesn't sound like a team that's in the Division One, but they play okay at home. They've got a win against Santa Barbara, which is a better team than Montana at this point. So looking for them to keep it close and maybe even win this one uh, as they start a little bit of a home stretch against both Montana teams now that we're in to Big Sky country. Makes you want a bush, like a bush light.
I'm just trying to think about how many lumberjacks there'd be in northern Arizona. Is there enough trees there to
I wonder about that.
actually
Like
generate a logging? I
it's
mean,
it's
I
kind of
think
like
there
the
had to
Utah
be.
Jazz. Like your nickname doesn't make a whole lot of sense,
No,
guys.
there's
And I
definitely not a
know,
jazz club anywhere in Utah.
but that's because the team moved. Like college teams don't generally relocate. Like What if the Ohio State's like, yeah, we're gonna play in Vegas this year? Like it's just not something that happens. So they named him that with purpose. I don't know why. I'm gonna dig in. We'll do a in-depth report on that tomorrow. But yeah, just one bet for me so far, plus 2.5. Take the money line if you're squirrely, and we'll move on to the National Basketball Association, which I have to say, I don't believe in scripted, like, oh, the NFL scripted and stuff. But like, if you were scripting a season, they're fucking killing it. The NBA has been, if nothing else, wildly entertaining this year. There's always like some crazy comeback or some guy having like a 30-point, 40 rebound, 17 assist triple double that hasn't been done since like George Mikan. Like every night there's some wild ass thing happening. So the NBA, it's fun. That should be there. Oh man, I'm gonna talk to Adam.
There were 6 games last night, Andy, that were determined by 3 points or less.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Now, I know normally when there's a small slate like this, I have a lot of picks. I got nothing. I'll talk through the games here quickly. There's a couple spots I might look at a little bit later, but it is kind of a funky slate. A lot of teams playing on back-to-backs here. And we'll start with the Memphis Grizzlies. They visit the Orlando Magic. Obviously, lean the Magic +7. They've been a great team for us. They're on a back-to-back, but the game was at home. What's tricky about this is, Andy, a couple players from the Magic are still on suspension from that Detroit Pistons incident. They come back tonight. As much as it's nice to have some fresh legs, it can be hard to reintegrate some of those players. The Grizzlies last night, a back-to-back, but it's a really short trip from Charlotte to Orlando. And the Grizzlies blew that team out, so not anybody really played too many minutes. That number came out pretty close to where I was. I might end up with a Magic bet later. I want to see kind of what the lineups look like, but nothing there yet. Celtics Mavericks should be great. These came out basically right on my numbers. Yeah. My gut says Mavericks, but I can't tell you that that's a plus EV spot. I mean, play the Mavericks money line if you really want something there. Jazz Rockets, our Houston Rockets are at home. This is normally a dead nut spot for me to take the Houston Rockets, but they have been terrible for the last week and a half. Even so, at home, they're on a back-to-back tonight. We're in New Orleans last night. Again, not a long trip back to Houston, but it was a tough game they played. Now they come in against a Jazz team that's fully healthy. I still think maybe there's a little value in the Rockets. I had this closer to 6 than 7. But I'll pass on that. And then this Clippers-Nuggets game will be great. I will try to stay up and watch some of this. I'll probably just end up getting up and watching it in the morning as like a replay or something. But should be really fun. I don't bet Clippers games until tip because we have no idea who is ever playing for them. So can't really tell you what to do there. Again, if you're looking for some action, maybe Magic, grab the point, sprinkle a little money line, or take the Mavericks money line. But nothing official for me yet.
Nothing, just nothing official. So you're thinking maybe you might get involved in the Clippers game if you can have a stone cold lockdown lineup that you are confident in?
That really helps. I mean, given all the nonsense we've had and how different this Clippers team is with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, if both those guys are in tonight, they should give this Nuggets team fits. They have all the defenders you want to slow down those guards and perimeter players. Zubac does as well against Jokic as anybody, and the Clippers are all great about kind of half double teaming Jokic the whole game. So like that spot for the Clippers if they're healthy, but we won't know that until about 9:30 p.m.
Yeah. Ugh, that's late. My wife wanted to stay up and watch some TV with me last night.
Turkish
and I look over at like 3 minutes into the show, she's sleeping. This is no one's ever like seen me angry, and I know it's not like Ed TV or something like I'm on the air all the time, all day where you can follow me around. But like, no one has seen me angry, and I don't get angry. Like I'm just not an angry person. I'm pretty chill. Nothing makes me as murderously angry as her wanting to watch a movie, asking to watch a movie, and then falling asleep right away. And it happens every time. It's been 15 years of this. I got to get this off my chest, guys. But
does she do the thing where she pops up and it's like, I wasn't asleep?
Yeah. Oh no, just a long blink, she calls it. Yeah.
Just can you rewind that a few minutes? I wasn't asleep. I just didn't quite see what happened.
Yeah, you woke yourself up with a snore. That's not a long blink. You're a liar. This is what you are, is a liar. Anyway, golf. And the fun part about golf starting late is I can talk about golf because it doesn't start for hours. Like, it's not like, hey, golf's going. I already bet a couple matchups. These guys are on the 10th hole already. Legitimately, the earliest tee time is still 3 hours from now. Some of these guys might not tee off until the middle of the afternoon East Coast time, because again, it is in Maui. People are asking about Super League. I'll get to that after the golf, but just real quick, a couple of daily matchups. Zalatoris is being priced like he's injured or forgot his
What's
clubs.
up with that?
I don't know. A couple people have really. I'm almost tempted to add him to my outright card, even though I don't
It's
like
in the 40s
to
or
do
something,
that.
right?
Yeah, it's very odd with some of the pricing for some of these guys. I know the field is tough, but when it trickles over into the head-to-head markets, it really bothers me and makes me mad, makes me bet it. But I got these both at minus 103, and the way this course needs to be played, it's a massive fairways. Like almost can't screw up the fairways unless you find one of the 90 goddamn bunkers. So yeah, and I know the disc. I thought it didn't. Who had the hip? Harris English, Xander might not play. Jesus, but Zalatoris, if healthy, this is a terrible number. I know Jordan Spieth has played better than what we saw when he was truly Spiething, but taking this at minus 103 doesn't hurt my feelings at all. Hopefully, he plays very well because I took him in a full tournament matchup as well. Just looking back at his approach game, off the tee, ball striking, basically everything but putting. Zalatoris is like a top 5 golfer in this field. So if he is healthy, I'm feeling pretty good about young Zal's chances here in Maui. And like I said, the fairways are super wide. Just find any part of them. Don't screw it up. And if you're good with your long to medium irons, you get these decent sized greens. I think things are going to be just fine. Sa plan pour moi, Mr. Zalatoris. And then Corey Connors, a guy I can't quit. Speaking of betting on Canada, another one where it's just, hey, compared to the Postman, his irons are better. He matches up with this course better. He's a better golfer. And yes, I'm paying a little extra. I'm paying the ties lose price, the minus 0.5. Some people have this as a 3-way line at their books where it's Connors, Postman, or tie. Most normal offshores just do it where there's no third option. That's a horrible way to set a line. But regardless, he does have to win the matchup. I cannot take a push on this one. It is the minus 0.5 to get the minus 103 here. This is another one where, this is another one where, again, Corey Connors' ball striking, much better than Mr. Postman. This is a deserved favorite in this one. And then Trabzonspor, one of my favorite names, the Black Sea Storm.
I'm always proud when you say that, right? I know that took practice.
It did take some practice. I don't have a bet on that. They're priced pretty prohibitively. It's like 1.6.
Yeah, minus again, 170.
Soccer
minus 1 plus 100.
I do soccer in decimal pods because that's the apps I use, but they're a big favorite. I know it's a bad team, maybe like a team total over in that one, but they're better than their middle of the table standings are right now. So maybe a Trabzonspor to score a couple times. I don't know. Let's keep heading east. Let's keep going forward in the future. Probably 1.5. I think probably a little juicy.
1.5 minus 43, 2.5 plus 212. Can I get 3 today?
Australian odds. Oh man, I was looking at a website the other day for work. Like, hey, we're looking at adding something to one of the apps, and someone sent me an example, and of course it was like it had a prediction at the end of an article, and it was like, pick this team at 37 over 50. I'm like, oh god, the fractional odds truly the nut low, like just the worst.
When then you have the laying and the backing and the now I'm buying puts and takes. I mean, it should all just, I don't even like decimal odds is close to good. It should all just be to 1. Everything should be point whatever to 1, 1 point something to 1. Like
decimal odds are perfect. The fractional ones when it's like 233 over 500. Like
11
what are we doing? What are we doing, guys? So all right. Well, I'm gonna do your bets and fractional odds. I'll translate these. I can say both these names. I don't need to translate the names, but some bets down under, one in Australia, one in New Zealand, and I don't even need, these are easy ones for me.
These are easy ones.
This is 1.833 and 1.8.
Indeed. 1.8. Arena Sabalenka, talked about her yesterday. We're down in Adelaide. Again, not only one of my favorite players, but one of the best players on tour. Had a really great comeback match against Samson over there in her first match. And that's pretty good for her. If you go back and look at tournaments, that first, second round match where she struggles a little bit and kind of has to pull it together, generally does well. Goes up against Marketa Vondrasova, who is, again, just getting way too much credit, in my opinion, for beating up on lesser players. There's not really a win that I rank. I mean, she's won 11, 12 of her last 13, 14 matches, but again, all against players in the hundreds, maybe 50 to 100, nobody anywhere near a top 10, top 15, even top 25 level. Sabalenka is just absolutely the better tennis player, and I had this closer, honestly, to minus 150. So minus 130, minus 125, minus 120. They're all good. Anything kind of minus 130 or better on Sabalenka. And again, just take the money line. It's a Sabalenka match. She could lose the spread and somehow win this. She could, get beat in the first set 6-0, come back, win the next two 7-5, and you're staring at a -2 ticket, just confused. So stick with the money line. Don't screw around with that tiny spread. Sometimes it's a good idea, not in this case. New Zealand, Victoria Kuzmova, sort of won for us. Emma Raducanu comes in, has a solid first set, loses the second, and retires. Looks like she picked up an injury. Curious to see what her status is for the Australian Open, but I was impressed going back, looking at some of the stats and the point by point. Didn't get a chance to watch the match yet, but Kuzmova has been somebody that doesn't really get down again after losing the first set. Really like the way she battled back, and winning that second set 7-5 is great. That brings in a ton of momentum coming into the third. I think she was definitely in a good spot to win that match anyway. No longer an underdog, but too short of a favorite against Danka Kovinic, who came through. I believe she qualified for this event. Again, hard to go against qualifiers, but Kuzmova qualified as well. So they both kind of have equal footing from that standpoint. And these are just not Kovinic's courts. A much better clay player, much better on slower surfaces, which is not what we have here at all. Kuzmova is going to be the much better server, and that's really going to, I think, what dominates the day. So had her closer to minus 155, minus 160. So again, anything minus 130 or better looks good here. So give me Sabalenka in Australia and Kuzmova in New Zealand.
New Zealand. And yeah, I'm just going to take the over 2.5 in that Treb zone.
Is that
score.
We do in Turkish Super League? Just take the over.
You kind of there are some unders. When you end up with some of the top sides, those usually end up being cagey affairs. It depends on the teams too, but right now at home, it's kind of a weird. It's kind of I'm gonna have to look where your Sunspor is, but some of these teams, it's actually a decent sized travel spot to get over to Trabzonspor up in the Black Sea. So we will see. But I think I'm going to be betting that over 2.5. So best of luck with everything but NBA because we didn't bet any. And
again, take a look at my profile. You can find a link there if I add anything. But again, maybe Magic, maybe Clippers at tip. There is another Super League game, Adana Demirspor and Istanbulspor.
Yeah, that's another big favorite.
I don't recognize
that's another big favorite too. And I mean, Istanbulspor AS is the worst team in the league, so they probably just get dummied. But I don't want to touch that one.
Smart.
Leaving it alone. So with that, no first touchdown scores because there's no football game. You guys, we'll talk about the Saturday games tomorrow. As we get into the weekend, and we'll talk about a little NFL, and we'll obviously bet everything else we normally do, and we'll catch you then. Please hit the thumbs up on the way out if you like Noops ball hat today. What do they call it? Is it a ball hat?
A toque?
See ya. A toque? A hat.